You're watching Pulse for the 9th or 10th of February, and it's time for some StarCraft news. In this week's episode, we have a quick look at the expected end-of-season lock and the start dates for Season 6, the usual GSL updates, a few results, and some news from IEM Brazil, Streaming 101 by TheGunrun, and more. Let's get straight to the news. As I just mentioned, our first piece of news is that Season 5 is now locked. At the end of each ladder season, leagues are locked, which means players can no longer be promoted or demoted out of their current league or division, and their bonus pools will stop growing. That is, however, no reason to quit playing. Even after leagues are locked, players will still be able to play out their remaining bonus pool and compete for stand-in within their divisions until the seasons end 1 week later. The matchmaking skill ratings, which determine league promotion and demotion, will also continue to update during the lock, so games played during the lock still count towards Season 6 league placement. Yes, that does mean it's still worth playing, but then again, when's it not worth playing StarCraft? So now that the lock is in effect, Season 5 will soon come to an end. Blizzard will be turning over to Season 6 during the week of February the 14th, and the Grandmaster League will start 1 week following the season roll. So that's pretty much it, and you can read all about the season lock below, along with the recent climb in the ladder post. You can learn how you can earn your league promotion, how many points it'll take, and how difficult it's gonna be. Check all of that out and enjoy. Now we're going to move on to the recent GSL updates. The GSL Code S round of 16 has been completed, and there were some pretty interesting results this time around. The round of 8 is fully populated, as you can see on your screens right now, and we've got Alive, MMA, MC, Genius, Gummyho, Puzzle, Potting, and Dongre Gu in that top 8. I'm not very happy that there's only one Zerg player there, but I'm going to be rooting for Dongre Gu all the way. I'm hoping that he takes his first title this time around. The round of 8 is set to start on February the 15th with Alive versus MMA and MC versus Genius. I'll definitely try catch the round of 8 matches live, and if you want to read more about this, you can do so below. You can also, if you're interested, have a look at what's been happening in the Code A. There are some games that have been played already, and there are some interesting results there. I think a lot of people are pretty sad about the fact that both Idra and Huck have been knocked out, but there are still some pretty big names that need to play, so you can check those full brackets out below as well. Moving right along though, for the first time in its 6-year history, the Intel Extreme Masters has made a stop in South America. From February the 7th till the 11th, the Campus Party Brazil will be the host to the Global Challenge Sao Paulo. As of recording this, the tournament is still in its group stages, but that doesn't mean there's not a lot of action going on yet. I gotta say, the groups have been pretty intense thus far, with Supernova and Dark Force topping Group A, Feast and Demuslim topping Group B, Violet and Real topping Group C, and Group D, as of recording this at least, has not yet been completed. By the time I upload this video, you should be able to check the website to see the full results for those groups. That means that you would also be able to see who made it through to the playoffs. So the IEM Brazil stream has been a lot of fun to watch, with some great matches, as I mentioned, but there has also been a little bit of drama. While Group B was being played, during the Feast vs Demuslim game, someone that was watching the stream actually whispered Feast Demuslim strat. So that was awkward, but Feast was a great sportsman about this, and he told the admins immediately that he'd been contacted. Both players were apparently fine with the situation, and they settled it in their own way. That way was Feast just telling Demuslim what he was doing. I just found it very weird, and I'm very happy that both these guys managed to resolve it as easily as they did. You can see the chat on your screens right now, and I suppose you can decide for yourself. Apparently the crowd in Sao Paulo also really appreciated the show of sportsmanship, and they cheered the players on as they resumed their match. So that's pretty crazy, and hopefully stuff like that doesn't happen when the more important matches come up. Luckily for these guys, both of them made it through their group, so it wasn't that big a deal either way. As with all the other stuff that I've spoken about thus far, you can check the description below this video for a bunch of IEM Sao Paulo links. There are video interviews with players to check out, most of these courtesy of Mr. Bitter. He's been doing an amazing job at the event. Photos, the full results, as I mentioned, and much more. Definitely worth checking out, and if you do have time over the next couple of days, jump onto the live stream as well, because it's always much more fun watching these events live. Now we're going to have a look at the only piece of real community news we've got here, and I gotta say this is really something for the community, from TheGunrun. Now he actually set up an extremely lengthy post on Team Liquid titled Streaming 101. This will pretty much tell you what kind of PC you'd need to stream, how you'd set up XSplit optimally to run the stream, what you need to do over at Twitch TV to make everything run smoothly, how you can capture your streams locally, and what I find is probably the most useful advice that he gives, how to gain and keep an audience, and then when you've got them, how to treat them correctly. There really is a ton of useful information here. He gives links to all the programs and apps that he uses, and he even gives screenshots pretty much explaining all of it in ways that you can't not understand. It's absolutely amazing, and if any of you guys decide to use this, be sure to leave a comment and tell TheGunrun what a great job is done, because this is really all you'd need. You wouldn't have to look any further if you were going to start streaming yourself. Check it out below and enjoy. Now we're going to move on to the smalls, and I will warn you that there are a lot of them this time around. As always, you can find them all linked in the description below this video. First up, in the tournament and event smalls, read about the MLG 2012 StarCraft 2 Pro Circuit that has in fact begun. Then read some IPL Team Arena Challenge updates. Read about the new KSL League that started up. It's got $15,000 worth of prizes, and it seems like OGS has withdrawn from that. Then you can check out some AHGL updates. That's obviously courtesy of Day 9 right here on YouTube. You can have a look at some results and videos from the recent Heat charity event. Read a NASL Team League Week 3 recap over at ESFI World. Read some EG MCSL details, and lastly read about a clan war that's coming up between Gamania and Startail. Now in the community smalls, the interesting stuff. Have a look at the latest Art of War post, this one all about Chrono Boost. Then check out a beginner's guide to the Play Him dailies. Nada has left Team OGS and apparently he didn't move over to SK Gaming. Check out an interesting post over at ESFI World titled Meet Vile Gaming Part 1. That's pretty self-explanatory. Razer, eSahara and OGS have formed a trifecta of sorts. Xenix is seeking sponsorship. The Emperor himself, Boxer, has started streaming, and you can find a link to his stream in the description below this video. Check an interview out with Smix. Have a look at some Liquid Rising documentary updates. There's an interview there and a short video clip to check out. It seems like In Control could possibly be casting some GSL games in the future for GOM TV. Check out a Marine King interview, and then something not quite StarCraft related, the Day of Reckoning VODs over at Day 9's channel. A bunch of interesting stuff there, including gameplay from Kingdoms of Amalur, interviews and much more. Husky is staying true to his word and uploading even more videos on his second channel. The next one that's up is titled Getting to Know You, along with Husky commentating comments. Interesting stuff. Next, check out Brother Mac's video on why Koreans are better gamers. Have a look at, or I suppose listen to, a song from Blake. This one's titled Sacrifice, and it is pretty good, as his music always tends to be. Then read a couple of interesting posts over at Team Liquid. There's an infested Terran trick that you can do by using your mouse wheel to cast the spell with the infestors. A huge post looking at balance in StarCraft 2, and this is from 31,500 different replays. Then Bronze, delving deeper. This is a long hard look at the Bronze League in StarCraft 2. Don't let that turn you off though, it is actually pretty interesting. Have a look at a StarCraft map analysis called StarCraft. And lastly, have a look at a bunch of wallpapers from Future 5. He's also taking requests, and I have to say, it's well worth sending a request in because the stuff he makes is absolutely awesome. Sadly, that's all I have for you in the StarCraft news this week. Remember to check the description below this video for everything that I spoke about. There are a bunch of links down there, and it should keep you busy for quite some time if StarCraft news is what you're after. Check back here soon for more. Like the video, favorite it, and do all that other good stuff. Most importantly though, happy StarCrafting.